Hey everybody, welcome to the March patron Q&A. Obviously a massive thank you to my patrons, people that have got on board since the current stuff that's been going on. I know we've lost a couple of people, don't worry, I don't take that personally. I know you're probably going through something pretty difficult as well at the moment, so I just want to say a huge thank you to the people who have continued to support me. And also a massive thank you to the people that have supported me through PayPal. There are people that use PayPal rather than, only a handful of people who use PayPal rather than Patreon, and I don't often mention them as much as I should. So I just want to say thank you for that, because obviously right now it's a tricky time. This first couple of weeks has been actually quite interesting, because obviously I've been working on videos that were pre-recorded. Not that anyone realised that. And now I'm in a situation where basically I have to come up with new videos and stuff to do, and I am working on those, but it's been a little more difficult because we've obviously got everyone in the house, and we have a shared house, and I work from home, and it makes things trickier. But we're doing our best. But anyway, we are now going to do the Q&A for March for patrons. And yes, this time Reno is with me.
This time I am here.
If you hadn't noticed, Reno is here. I'm sure you were just looking at her the whole time. Actually, I've got an idea. You asked them to like the video. I bet we get 10 times as many likes.
You probably.
Ask them then.
Like the video and subscribe, and if you want to join Patreon, it's only $1 a month, and you can choose to make it more if you wish. Thank you.
We'll look at the likes in a week. I bet they're higher. Okay, so the first question comes from Andrew Honey. If you was to buy a third bike just for short distances, what would it be and why? 125cc scooter, probably the Diablo, because it's got good understorage seating, and I really enjoyed it. I actually do miss that bike still, because having a scooter that you, not saying you don't care about, but something you literally just start, jump on, you can use it to get shopping and stuff, I loved having that. But obviously as a single bike, no.
The bin, I don't know how a bin is asking questions, but they ask, "Hi Spicy and Reno, I hope you are both doing well. If you could disinvent something, what would it be and why?" Ooh.
I know the answer.
Social media.
I was going to say the same thing. And the irony is I work on social media. Well, I work on YouTube. But yeah, I'm not going to get into a long discussion of social media and the psychological effects I think it's had on people over the years, because it would just continue to do what social media is doing, which is driving people apart rather than bringing people together. So yeah, social media.
Yep, snap.
But equally, I really like social media.
Yeah, I do like it, but I think there's a point where you can use it too much and then it's damaging.
Well, it's also used for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Like, I remember in the past, Facebook used to be very argumentative, and Twitter was the nicest place to be. It was like the most chill place that you could make any joke, say anything, everyone was really friendly, it was really good. And then all of a sudden it kind of just flipped on it. I even have videos probably in the past saying, you know, Twitter's a really nice place, I concentrate on Twitter because Facebook seems so argumentative. And actually just recently I'd say that
it's kind of gone the other way around.
It's the other way around. Like my Facebook group, the Spicy Mountain Community Group, which is on Facebook, has just passed 1,000 followers. So thank you to all the people that joined that. There have been some interesting people who have joined, and I'm waiting for them to post something that's completely irrelevant, and then they'll get removed because I don't think they're from the group of what it's actually for. But until that point, they are welcome. But yeah, you've seen there's been a few posts which just obviously don't belong there, and then they leave the group. Right, Sam Taylor, if you had to pick one type of engine, i.e. inline 4, V-twin, etc., for the rest of your life, what would it be? Now, I like singles and I like inline 4s, but if I only got to have one bike, it would be a V or a parallel twin.
I don't know what I'd go for. I think I've only got experience for a V, because my bike's a V-twin, isn't it?
No, yours is a parallel twin.
Messed up already.
There we go, moving on.
May Crotch says, "Hi Spicy, hi Reno. I hope you're both well and enjoying shit. I really wanted to hear Reno say shit. Oh, well, I've said it twice now. My question is, if both of you could give a celebrity a pillion ride, who would it be, and would you try and frighten the bejesus out of them? I continue to be stunned by your awesomeness. You're a brilliant pair. Cheese out." It was in caps, so I shouted it.
a celebrity and try and scare them.
I'm too nice, I can't be mean. I probably wouldn't want to scare someone. I'd want someone to enjoy the bike and then get the bug that I have with bikes. So I'd want to share. I'd be like, yeah, look how cool this bike is. And then maybe go a bit fast, but not enough to scare them. That's what I would do. I don't know who I would have though. Someone that's smaller than me and weighs less than me, or is about the same height and weight, otherwise it's not going to work.
I'd take Jeremy Clarkson on the back of my bike because he'd hate it. That's not me hating on Jeremy Clarkson, I just think it would be funny. Duncan Owen, hi Spicy, hope you are well. If you could direct your own motorcycle TV ad, what kind of scene would you dream up? Nothing like what they all do. It's when companies do their own social media and do their own marketing ads and stuff, I find 80% of the time it's horrendous. It is absolutely horrible. BMW's quite bad for this. Like, they just brought out the R18, that new bike, and I looked at it, I was like, man, that's quite a cool looking bike. It's not my sort of bike necessarily, but I would like to try riding that. And I was like, oh, look at the guy they've put on it. And they always go for the open face, the brown jacket, basically hipsterish. And it's like, if it must work for them maybe, but it cringes me out. I would say probably like what I did at the beginning, the RS video, that little sort of scene at the beginning, which looks,
shows off all the nice
people are like,
bits of
that's
it.
really good videography, that. And I'm like, yeah, that was filmed in the garage using my mobile phone as a light with a piece of paper I found on the floor to diffuse it. And I was just doing this a lot. Obviously, the reality is most shots are quite easy to do, but yeah, if you don't need expensive equipment to produce stuff like that, you just need imagination and a bit of skill.
And knowledge.
It helps.
Sinshiro917 says, hello Spicy and Reno. If you could ask any person in the world to let you ride one of their bikes or to see them ride one of your own bikes, who would it be and why?
I'm not allowing anyone to ride my bike.
I don't think I could allow or trust anyone to ride my bike. I trust you to ride my bike because you are a good rider and I know that it will be safe. Whose bike would I want to ride? I don't know.
I'm just going to say Jake, because I would like to really try his Big Red Pig, because the idea of a 650 with the amount of flat torque curve that thing's got, it should be a really good bike. And then he can ride my DRZ and say how much he misses it, but then won't. Robo Ninja 300, hey Spicy and Reno, hope you're both doing well. My question is, have you ever called each other by your real names on camera and had to edit it out? Or was it something that happened in the first time when you started getting a habit of calling each other by your nicknames on camera? I don't think we ever have. No, I've never done that because I've been doing YouTube so long now that I'm just used to not using people's real names. Yeah. And I don't tend to call people by their YouTube names either. I just tend to just not refer to them by a name.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think we're both the same. We normally only use each other's real names.
If it's really important.
If it's really important, or if you're one end of the house doing something and I'm the other end of the house and I can't get you, and then I might shout your name, but maybe that's occasionally.
But we don't do pet names either.
Oh no, I'm not a fan of pet names.
There is how do we communicate a distance? After 3. Do you know what I'm doing? Oh. After 3. 1, 2, 3.
Now.
We have a language of meowing, okay? We understand this language. It's our language.
Oh.
You're on.
Did we read the question? Oh yeah. Oh my god. Spondig D says, hi Spicy and Reno. Hope you are well. A world without cheese or a world without alcoholic beverages. Keep up the great content.
Oh.
That's a tough one.
Can I have non-dairy cheese? I know that's not real cheese, but it might taste similar.
Yeah, maybe.
I'd rather have non-dairy cheese than alcohol-free rum.
I don't...
Though I actually would really like it if someone could go, here is a rum and coke. And it isn't alcoholic, but it tastes the same. I wish they could do that, but they can't. or no one seems to be able to. Even alcoholic drinks where you can't really taste the alcohol in it, they never seem to be able to reproduce that the same.
No, yeah.
It's obviously something that the alcohol does that you just can't replace. John Sharp, hi, going back to the time when you were looking at your first big bike, would you have considered the 380 if it was around instead of Derek? And if I may sneak a second question, does the Insta360 have an OSD to show tilt angles and such? Thanks for the content. Looking forward to the next stage of Spice. Right, so the first one, would I have considered the 380? No, because sports bikes aren't really my thing. Yeah. I love supermotors. You know, I had the Supermoto 125 7 years, and then I bought a 400 version. I didn't even want more power, well, I wanted more power, but I didn't really want to change that. And the only reason I got my XJ6 was because I kept blowing that bike up because, well, not blowing it up, but, you know, I kept having severe, very, 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 very expensive issues. And that's why I got the workhorse, which is DIVI. And it also was great because it helped teach me to ride inline fours and sports bikes, which helps me when it comes to reviewing stuff. If I had no option of a bike and someone said the DRZ or the 380, I'm still going to go for the DRZ. Although the 380 does handle motorways better, so as an all-round bike, actually, the 380, if it was one bike, would probably be better. I can't get part. It's just not a supermoto. I can't take it off-road. It's not got this snappy old school carbed response. It's not got the dumping all this unburnt fuel out the back of it.
It'd probably be more of a bike I probably would have had to consider.
Yeah,
but I wanted to get the maximum out of my licence.
Yeah, that's the thing. Some people think I only went to an A2 when I got my full licence because I didn't buy a 1000cc, and it was like about small bikes and always have been. Because some people are like, you'll see it in 2 years' time or a year's time, he'll never ride another 125 and he'll hate them. And it's been like years and years and years.
And
I'm
still
like,
them.
Yes, give me a 125, people. They're crap. And I'm like, I love them. I just love 125s. What can I say? You'll go. Oh, hang on. And does the Insta360 have an on-screen display for tilt angles as such? I'm not exactly sure what you mean. If you mean like an indicator, no, because in 360 mode, it's 360, so you don't need to worry about where's what. That's the whole wonderful thing about it. The only thing you need to worry about is the stitch line, which is in all directions around the outside of the camera in ways that the two lenses aren't facing. So you don't need to worry about that. The way that it works, by the way, the way that it keeps the horizon flat is I think it's got accelerometers in it, and it basically knows that's the horizon. So when I go through corners, the bike will tilt in video, but the horizon stays the same, and that's one of the really cool things about it that I like. So I hope that answers that. Your question.
B Ferrari says, hi Spicy, in your experience, do you think the build quality of some modern bikes is poorer, the same model made 20 years ago? Paint peeling, rust and quality seem to be an issue nowadays on newer bikes.
To a point, yes. I think, well, some bikes are built much more to a budget. Like in the past, you might have got a 125 built in Japan. Nowadays, no 125s are made in Japan. They're all pretty much all outsourced to another factory in China, Thailand, places like that. As for the sort of larger CC bikes, I think there is an amount of that to see happening. I think it's a combination of them trying to keep the prices down as things inflate, but at the same time trying to keep the build quality up. So I think yes and or no. But what I would say is I do not think 125s from the big brands are made as well as they probably were in the past. So that's one of the reasons why I think Chinese bikes, the gap's closing. Not just because Chinese bikes are coming up, but I do think for the price that they charge, the Japanese 4 are coming down a little bit. I mean, you only have to look at like the swing arm on the CBF and see how paper thin that wall is. And then you look at, for instance, a 125 from my Pulse 125 had my Sinus 125 had an aluminium, nice thick walled swing arm that was very strong. It really surprised me how thin the swing arm on the CBF was. But so a bit of yes and no. So we're done with those ones. Richard Groves, if you're having a bacon sandwich, do you have brown sauce correct or ketchup incorrect?
Ooh,
I would have
ketchup.
neither.
No brown sauce. I don't like brown sauce, sorry to disappoint. Ketchup for me.
I would
White
have
bread too.
chili sauce.
Oh.
Chili sauce,
bacon.
yeah, chili and bacon sauce. Or, like, the perfect bacon sandwich to me would be like ciabatta or something like that, toasted with like balsamic vinegar on it and maybe some vine roast, like grilled tomatoes and some lettuce and some bacon and maybe a bit of mayo and a bit of chili sauce or something like that.
That sounds very fancy. Mine would just be white bread, butter, bacon, a little bit of ketchup, and eat it.
But if you're asking the ketchup or brown sauce question, generally, I don't really like brown sauce, but I don't really eat ketchup either. I used to eat ketchup on everything when I was a kid. Not anymore. Now it's chili sauces or some form of derived chili sauce.
Caleb Tate says, hi Spice in Reno. My question is, would you or Reno buy a classic bike as a bike you can ride through country lanes or through the city or even to daily?
I actually had to look at this for the definition of what makes a bike classic because I didn't know this, and apparently, so Google tells me, it has to be made after World War II because I think before that becomes vintage.
Oh, okay.
And it has to be more than 25 years old, and it has to generally be made of a high quality at the time that it was produced. And I was going to say, well, the DRZ is only 5 years off of that because it's the DRZ design is 20 years old and hasn't been changed. However, the SM came out in 2005, so it's not a classic. But if I had the money to do it, yes, I would like to have a classic. It would probably be a Bonneville, something like that. Something a bit like the CAF Race 3 things that, like the Mash 400, something like that I've really enjoyed riding. Something that really would be a weekend bike. But then I'd probably end up wanting to ride it all the time. Actually, no, if it would tip it back in, I wouldn't. But
I think if I had a classic bike, I probably wouldn't want to take it through country lanes. I think through country lanes, I'd want some cheap 125 that I don't really care
I don't think
about.
they mean country lanes in the sense of like mud. I think they mean country lanes is in nice, slower, sweepy stuff.
Oh, okay, then well, whatever, I ride on anything.
Tim Course, how long do you reckon a video of every time you've said you're 6'4" on camera will it be? No one has ever edited me a video.
That would take forever though.
No, it wouldn't. You download. Actually, no. No, the downloads is quite small because they're like 300 kilobytes.
First of all, you'd have to go on every single review.
Which are in a playlist.
And then you'd have to go on every single...
Well, hold on a minute. I've done about 60 reviews. I haven't said it in all of them. I've said it in a few other videos. So, if
and gear videos. You done any gears?
Yeah, but there's only been a couple of those. So, let's say... Hang on, how long does it say? I'm going to look at the timer on the thing. How long does it say? Hey everybody, so I'm 6'4", as you well know, it takes 3 seconds. 3 times 60 is 121 about 180 seconds. So, a few minutes. Depends how long, short you cut it. But you weren't expecting a real answer.
Martin Lyles says, hey guys, my question is, could you do a tour of your workshop and also what compressor do you have? Is it an electric or petrol powered one? As I'm looking at getting one and not sure what would be better.
I have a workshop tour. It's called my workshop tour or something like that. And so we had a couple of Americans come in on that video and like, call that a workshop. It's a little garage. It's like, this is England, mate. This country was built in sheds. We don't have the huge space of giant workshops like that. But anyway, I have actually done that. It's a little out of date, but it's not that out of date. I've just got a couple of extra machines. As for compressor, the compressor that I use isn't actually mine. It belongs to my brother. It is a massive, and I mean one of the ones that's like, 5 feet long and about this big, and it takes 32 amp electricity in for it to run, because our garage is on 16 amps, the house is on 32, so we have to, for things that are 32 amp, we have to run a cable inside, which is annoying. I know, we can just change the garage fuse or whatever. So that's good for running tools for a reasonable amount of time, but a medium-sized one, some of the little Clark ones, the electric ones, are absolutely fine. I wouldn't go for a petrol one because, well, they're loud enough as it is, and you have to leave the petrol engine running to keep it running, and it's nice to have an airline that's just charged and ready to use. I don't think they turn their engines on and off automatically, so yeah. But then on the plus side is you don't have the thing with the electric ones, which is where it automatically comes on as it loses a bit of pressure, and you're stood there in a nice quiet garage for an hour, and then suddenly, it doesn't matter how many times it happens, you're going to absolutely shit your pants. DCA 88 BMX, High Spicy in Reno. My question this month is, one bike to ride for the rest of your life would be... well, if I only have one bike, and it needs to do everything I need it to do, that completely rules out my DRZ. It rules out the XJ6, so it's going to have to be a new bike that's capable of going off-road. It's not too heavy, needs to be capable of doing the motorway journeys. So maybe the V-Strom 1000, maybe if they updated the 650 to be more like the 1000 is now, then I'm all over it. I really am hoping that they make an updated version of, like they did for the 1000 for the 650. The 650 was great, but I wish they develop it a little bit more. But then equally, I suppose you could consider the Yamaha Tirana, or whatever it's called, the off-road one, the one that Jake's kind of emulating. That would probably be a good option.
Tyrannosaurus.
It's not
terrain. Terranium.
Terrain. It's something to do with terrain. Next. Why are these not flying away like
I don't know, but it's making me jump.
Okay, so all those questions were asked before, well, like the beginning of the month. Then this morning, because we only had that many questions, I was like, oh, let's ask a few more, because they might be more relevant to what's currently going on, and obviously I want to make this video relevant if I can. Also as long as possible, because watch time equals money.
Money.
No, at the moment, actually, it's an interesting thing to see, and one of the reasons I'm really grateful to my patrons is that my views are currently, I'm gaining over 1,000 subscribers a month. That's not happened for a long time. I'm currently over well over 1 million minutes being watched every month, nearly 1.5 million. That's great, but money has dropped by 1/5 in the past 2 weeks, which makes me think the advertisers are starting to pull out on YouTube a bit, and yeah, that's 50% of my income. So I'm hoping it's just a small lull, and there's enough companies that will come in who can sell stuff to you when you're at home. That means that those ads will still exist. And I'm talking about money, and people don't like me talking about money, but I have to just accept the fact that this is kind of like my business, and I do need to pay bills, which is why I'm fair with Patreon and only charge $1 and don't charge any more.
$50.
And also the second channel that I'm planning to do, you're getting that as well, and I'm not charging any extra for that. Although that's actually something I was going to post about this. I'll just say it now. Not that anyone's probably going to see this Friday's video, but. Some of those videos might not be of interest to most of my patrons, and I was thinking, well, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe they shouldn't get them early, because maybe that's just going to annoy people. But I'm like, well, I can just ignore those ones, which is normally something you can say, well, just ignore the video you don't like, but then people don't do that. But then again, I think my patrons tend to be most interested in just anything I produce, and they're not too worried. So I hope you don't mind that some of the... I mean, I don't even know what I'm making yet, but you'll get them first. Anthony, High Spicy in Reno. If you could combine 3 animals to make one animal, what animal would you combine? I think we were asked this before with like 2 animals, but 3 is more complicated. I think we need a combined effort on this. What's got a cute body?
I don't know. I know it has cute feet.
Well, it has cute feet.
Otters.
Okay, so we want otter feet on cat legs with a duck's head.
I don't think that works somehow.
Why?
Yeah. Then it's weird and not cute. It looks weird. Imagine a duck with legs. Well, they've got legs anyway.
Imagine chopping up any 3 animals and stitching them together and making it look cute.
So they'll be chopped up. They might just be...
Well, how are you going to interbreed 3 things?
Have you ever played Spore?
I know what you're talking about, yes. No, I have not played it, but yes. But I don't see how you can get 3 characteristics into something by the 2 things screwing.
Jurassic Park. They did it. Ashley Joshua says, what would you say the best exhaust to put on an X-Max 125R 2019 to make it louder?
The exhaust on that currently looks like its stock is a one-piece system. So you're either going to need to find a slip-on that happens to be the same diameter as your header pipe, and you're going to have to hack it, which is not a good idea because it means you don't have a standard exhaust. So your best option is to go for something with a header pipe and a slip-on. And I had a quick look, and there's a few options out there. I don't think you're going to have a million options, so the best option is going to be the one you can get that fits. So I would just search your bike, the exhaust, and just look what you can get from what's available, because It's quite a unique bend. You're not going to be able to get, like, just stick a slip on you like you can with some bikes where the end can's removable. So yeah.
I would assume that almost any exhaust is going to make it louder. And
not necessarily, but they generally, when they sell exhausts for a scooter that's not the stock exhaust, it's to make it louder. It's not like they sell exhausts that are quieter than stock.
Yeah.
Has anyone sold an exhaust? I suppose technically, if you put a massive can on, you could quieten a bike down. People might do it for racetracks, actually.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Trying to pronounce your surname, and I'm not good, so I'm going to say Philip M. Hey Spicy, any tips on cleaning really dirty chains and sprocket covers? Got my bike at a pretty good deal. XL 700 Transalp. Transalp, I always thought that was Tan Slap. But it's not, it's Salp, so it can't be, so it's Transalp. It's mechanically fine, but filthy. Any suggestions dealing with the black, oily, horrible gunk that's all over parts of the bike? Any cleaning products generally for bikes recommended for deep cleaning, thanks. If you can take the parts off the bike... Yeah,
you'll get a better clean, won't you?
General degreasers are quite good.
Yeah.
They don't need to be complicated. Warm water and very liquid's quite good at breaking stuff down. It's about soaking it, really. Petrol can be quite good at breaking stuff down. I use paraffin as a degreaser when I'm cleaning chains for making clocks and stuff like that, when I was doing that. But I wouldn't necessarily suggest doing that on your bike. I mean, you should only leave a bit of paraffin wax, which really should only protect it. But I'm not going to make some claim that it's not going to do any damage or not be good, because I haven't checked it with every, tenth of a millimetre I can. So, general degreasers, yeah. But you'll find, what I would say, don't use the alcohol-based sprays like brake cleaner and chain cleaner. When it's really thick, they're great for getting surface stuff off. But when it's really thick, that just melts the surface and you'll end up using cans and cans. Scrape it off if you have to, but yeah, I would use the brake cleaner and the chain cleaner sprays are alcoholic. The alcoholic spray. I need to clean another chain. Alcohol-based ones to just do the final clean, if you know what I mean. So good luck with that.
Spondig D again says, is the current global situation your home planet's doing so you can take over the world, you huge lizard alien?
No.
Why are you a lizard alien?
I'm not a lizard alien. There's pictures of Bill Clinton half coughing or something, and they're like, he has some slight muscular ripples in his face, and they're like, look, he's trying to keep his transform. Like, apparently they can transform into humans. He's he's struggling to keep his form.
Like the sliverine things, whatever they're called in Doctor Who.
Don't know.
They're like a green thing, and they hide in a suit of a person, and they keep farting.
Edward Perkis, do you think pets arranged this global situation so we all have to stay at home and give them attention all day?
Yes.
Yeah, I wish that was true.
Yeah.
I'm afraid. I'm in a new situation, which is we have 3 cats, right? One of them doesn't like me at all. One of them is friendly but not friendly with everyone. And then we had 3 cats, or we have 2 cats now because Mia got put down. And I realised that since the age of 7, I've had a friendly cat that's always liked me and wanted to spend time with me, and I now don't. And I'm honestly finding it very weird not having a friendly cat around. And I know you would say, well, get a cat then. And unfortunately, the logistics of where we're living now, I have to look like 16 years ahead, because that's how long cats, 16, 17 years. And I don't think I can do that, because I wouldn't want to be put in a situation when we have to move out that we find out no pets.
Yeah. And
we'd have to get rid of our cat. I suppose my sister would always have somewhere for cats.
Yeah, she would.
I'd assume.
Alan Urquhart says, as you've been lapping it on a game, would you ever like to enter the Isle of Man TT personally? Oh, personally, I'd love to, but don't have the balls for it.
I've done a few laps. I'm improving slowly. I would love to ride the TT course. Slowly.
Yeah.
I would not want to try and do it at any great speed. Well, not the speeds that they're doing. I'd like to do it at spirited ride speeds.
I would prefer if only a select few people are on the road, because some people do go too fast. They do push it and then they cause crashes.
It's not too fast. It's But
Or
yeah,
just
no, it's
think-
true. No, it's true. Some people do cause crashes by when their belief in their skills and their actual skills, you find where the difference is.
Yeah.
But then there are accidents or whatever. So Bruce Groom, what are you doing?
I'm becoming toasted.
I was right. We haven't got many questions left. We'll get through these quite quickly. Bruce Groom, hi Spicy. This is what's the first trip you want to take post lockdown, shopping aside? I've not, thankfully, I've not had to go off the island because we have been able to find enough here. I don't really want to go to the big Tesco's off the island because obviously the island has got somewhat of its own little quarantine because people aren't coming here and aren't going through, and I'm trying to minimise risks. The first trip I want to go on to, I want to get down to Destination Triumph and get another bike out. I was really enjoying it, and I need to get back to doing. Well, it's so ridiculous. It's the amount of which you guys know. If you're watching this, you know what I've done this year, and it's been going so well. And I just feel like I've had the rug pulled out under my feet. But I'm not complaining about it, obviously, because this is something we're all going through, and for me to be in the situation that I'm in, it's like, well, you're lucky to be in that situation to be able to complain about it. But it is a unique situation where it's difficult to. It's not like I can go to the government, oh yeah, I'm not earning any money anymore, can I please have my money? Because I am still earning money, it's passive, I can't turn it off. But yeah, where's the first place you want to go? I know where you want to go, just out.
Yeah, just anywhere outside.
I think you'd settle for walking down.
I'd love to, I just want to be on my bike and ride for more than 20 minutes.
Yeah. Ryan Morris, silly question time, good, I like these. If you knew what you knew now when you were young, what type of action man would you buy? Try to lighten the mood during lockdown.
I had an action man.
I had an action man.
Because I had a best friend and he had loads of action men. And I had a Barbie doll, right? But I didn't have any Ken. So he was like, oh, you can have my action man. So I had an action man instead of a Ken.
Did he have a Barbie in return?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Kind of got the bum deal on that one then, didn't he?
Well, he gave it to me.
I know, I'm joking. Well, actually, I would have the parachute action man. But I want to be able to, like, launch it from an air cannon first.
Angus McInnes says, hey Spicy and Reno, I hope all is well. As there's been some stupid comments recently, one in particular, you know which one, would you consider doing a stupid, funny, interesting comment video? I'm sure there's enough content to make a few videos. Keep safe, you two.
I have considered reading hate comments, but I don't want to bring highlight to the people that do it, because equally in highlighting it, they do it more. Something I will say is a lot of people don't realise is I don't mention stuff on social media when I get hate comments. Do I mention a tenth of the hate comments I get?
No.
No.
I see them all as well.
Yeah, I mention ones which are particularly stupid, or if it's something that's going to become a theme, if it's something, it's a misconception, like the whole thing of people thinking stuff was like, oh, you're out breaking lockdown rules, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, it was filmed 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
There was an interesting one. There is a couple of people that watch this channel and have been for years and always leave very scathing negative comments, and I've considered reading through those just to sort of be like, why? Why would you spend this many years of your life always being so negative? But then again, maybe it's just people's way. I mean, they've been watching for years, they must be a fan. So, no. But maybe yes, if it was a complete patron exclusive.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. Then it can't be shared everywhere, and you can only see it if you're a patron. So, there.
But don't join expecting that. Because I'm not sure if I want to do it. I like to try and keep things positive, because I find that drawing more negativity gets me more negativity, and
You really don't want that.
I mean, I've watched other people put videos up shopping after lockdown. No hate, nothing. And I'm like, I didn't even shop after the lockdown. It was during the...
It was before the lockdown even happened.
Anyway, 4658, who is always at the top of the list because his name has numbers in it. It's done alphabetically, so, But who ends up on the second side now depends on the total number of patrons I have. So you'll notice the right-hand one changes, but it's around the J's at the moment. So like Jason Robbins and Jess Fox and a couple of others, you get split. Hi, Mr. Spicy and Miss Reno. If you had dropped a bike you borrowed from someone, causing minor damage, i.e. brake lever, a couple of scuffs, etc., and they were coming home just after the quarantine is due to end, what would you do? Own up, face the music, and possibly have to buy the bike from them, or just fix it and polish the scuffs out and hope they don't notice? Asking for a friend look after yourselves and do.
This doesn't sound good.
Right. I think people are generally understanding because you wouldn't have done it on purpose.
No.
They might be mad.
And if you'd done it on purpose, there'd probably be more damage, to be fair.
Brake levers replaceable and cheap. The scuffs depends what panel it's on. I would personally, if it was me, I would replace the brake lever, fix whatever scuffs I could, and then just be completely honest and say, look, this happened, I'm really sorry. I've done what I can. If you want me to do more, I'm more than happy to do that. It also depends on the bike. If the bike's completely mint and it hasn't got a scratch on it, then it's different. If it's got scratches and dings on it, it's like, well, it's just got another scratch or a ding. I mean, if someone dropped my DRZ, I probably wouldn't care. I've dropped it enough times.
Connor McRae says, hi Spicy and Reno, I'm looking for a dash cam advice. I live in central Glasgow, as do a lot of bad drivers evidently. Could you maybe give a cheap middle ground and expensive priced option? Maybe mean inexpensive?
No, I think he means a middle ground, a cheap, middle, and expensive. Like 3 options.
I'm being.
So go on.
Keep up the good work, and ever thought about changing the channel name to Spicy 6'4"? Cheers.
No, because when I'm old and I lose, my back gets more crushed and destroyed. I'll be shorter, so I did actually ask him to confirm whether he meant for cars or bikes, and he said bikes, sorry, helmet cam preferably. Right, so a cheap option would be one of the Chinese GoPro knockoffs.
Yeah.
They are actually pretty good in comparison to the way they used to be in the past. I think they're reliable enough. And of course, one of the things I assume for a dash cam is you're not worried about having in-helmet audio. That is a huge difference.
Yes.
And yeah, so a cheap option, one of the Chinese GoPro knockoffs are probably a good option. Middle ground, for insurance purposes, maybe one of the drifts, that I don't really recommend drift because I know a lot of people had a lot of problems with them recently and they've had some customer service issues. No, I used to work with drift and I don't anymore, and there is a reason for that. I still hope that they will make a better camera in the future, but it is what it is. And as an expensive, most expensive option would be like a Sony. One of the best helmet cameras there are now are the GoPros. Easier if you don't want audio again, but then you don't need one of the new ones necessarily for like all the super smooth and all that. Maybe a 4 would probably be good for you if you can get hold of one, but battery life is quite short on those. That's where the drifts do run out. They do have a long battery life, which is good for insurance purposes, but obviously that's one of the last problems when it comes to vlogging. Maybe I don't know about in the middle. It's more of a play off of battery life and functionality. But just know that 1080p 60 FPS is kind of a minimum. 30 is okay, but the problem you might have is if it's a particularly quick interaction and maybe they drove off, you're only going to get 1 frame's chance, whereas you'll get 2 frames chances with 60 FPS, but then you get shorter recording times on memory cards. But then if you're wiping the memory card every day, not such a problem. I hope that helps. James the Naked Snake. The perfect way to eat a potato. My preference is either roasted in goose fat or triple cooked chips.
We were talking about roast potatoes yesterday, actually.
I think if I was told I could only eat potatoes one way from now on, jackets.
Yeah, I would choose jacket because you can put so many things that you want and they're interchangeable. You can customise it however you want.
Yeah.
Pimp my jackets.
Jackets. I don't really eat roast potatoes because they're a bit too fatty for me. I used to like it. I can't even really eat roast dinners for that reason. Go on.
Sam Taylor says, if you had to choose a engine to config to ride the rest of your life, i.e. inline 4 V2, single pot V4, etc., what would it be and why? Did we answer that?
Yeah, I already answered that one. A parallel twin or a V-twin. Reason being, if I didn't explain, they tend to have ability to do better on the motorways than a single cylinder because obviously they're not having to be so. I don't think the firing's any slower, but they do better for it. But equally, I like having torque rather than having to always rev the balls off of it, which you get with inline fours. So that's why the V-twin parallel twin is a good solution. As is a V4, but then again, V4s tend to be more. They're not necessarily that economical, are they? Or are they? No, I don't know.
I don't know.
But I know the answer would be, yeah, parallel V-twin. Probably a parallel over the V, maybe. Depends what sort of bike it is. Mark Lally, what bikes would you use in an apocalyptic world?
I think you'd pick Derek, wouldn't you?
Yeah, Derek. Although at
I
the
see
moment,
Derek as that kind of bike.
I'm using DIVI. Because DIVI, I can get the Lomo tank bag on the front,
Yeah.
the Lextek tank bag, tail pack on the back, and the big Lomo bag that I've got. Between those three, I've been able to get like 3 days shopping, and that's maybe more than 3. No, it was 3 days shopping for us, and there was a couple of bits for the house.
Yeah.
For other people, because that's the thing. I'm having to
get
the stuff I normally get for us.
Yeah.
But I've also been picking stuff up for other people who can't go out, and also if you see some chicken, because we weren't able to get chicken for about a week. I saw some chicken. I was like, oh, I'll grab some for them.
Craig Denon says, which other YouTubers do you follow and why? There's too many.
Yeah, I've subscribed
There's
to
too
about
many.
300 channels.
I think, can't you see who other people have subscribed to when you go onto YouTube? If you go onto...
Maybe on yours, it depends if you show it or not. I don't think I show my
mine's
subscription
showing.
list. I'm subscribed to a lot of old... well, actually, I did go have a little bit of a clear out a while ago. I basically went through and I unsubscribed from anyone who hadn't uploaded a video in 2 or 3 years. Most of them are the old smaller motovlog channels. I've kept a few just because I like the people so much. It's like if you ever make another video, I want to know about it. I hope that the system works and they actually hear about the video. But to be honest with you, I don't watch many review channels, like bike review channels. Even though I'm friends with some of the people like Lamb Chops, I don't watch his bike reviews unless I've reviewed the bike first, because I don't ever want to be influenced. I don't want to ever pick up on something that other people have talked about and make a big point out of it, or notice it more than I think's necessary. I'm not saying that Lamb Chop does that, but we all have our own perspective. So I take no offence that anyone else who reviews bikes not watching my reviews for the same reason.
Yeah.
But the channels that I watch a lot, I've actually done a video talking about that.
I think you did.
Engineering channels, AVE, gun channels like Forgotten Weapons and In Range, CN Arsenal. I really like if I want to watch something for a while, like a long form video I really enjoy. CN Arsenal have got the Anvil series with Mark Novak, who's actually had to transfer to his own channel now. I really find those videos interesting because they're about engineering but also crafting, and also he gives a lot of skills as to how to work with different things, metals and woods and welding and all sorts. It's a good way of learning tips and tricks for stuff that you do yourself. And sciencey stuff. Good Mythical Morning, we tend to watch that. We've watched Good Mythical Morning for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of all of their episodes. But yeah. What else? iDubbbz. Any of those videos. I suppose I could mention all the individual little vloggers as well there are, but I don't want to mention this person and not mention that person and someone be offended, blah blah blah. But yeah. I should probably comment more than I do. I do leave likes on videos.
I never used to comment on YouTube videos ever.
I do leave likes on videos I watch, but I don't always comment. So yeah.
Jake Francis says, would you ever buy a classic motorcycle to restore? If so, which one?
We've already answered that.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, the classic. What classic one did you have?
One of the ones down there. It was Tate. One of the Tates.
Oh yes.
Right, this is the last question. Peter O'Connor, what would be your ultimate
That's the same question, isn't it?
zombie apocalypse bike and why? Basically, yeah, so do we even answer that?
Yeah, we said Derek.
I said Derek.
Derek.
He wouldn't be ideal, to be fair, because
No,
he'll probably get a cold and he'll probably catch corona. The first case of an inanimate object catching the disease will be Derek catching the corona. Oh, what's flashing?
No,
Battery's dying. Right, huge thanks to everyone. That was unbelievable.
No!
Oh, I hope I didn't fuck up the recording.
Oh, hope not.
We still got audio.
Oh,
hello everybody.
hello from the dark.
Thank you for watching. We're going to go now. What picture should we have right now to cover it up?
A pigeon.
A pigeon?
A shrill.
I haven't got no pigeon. We need to end it. They were looking at a picture of a pigeon, for Christ's sake.
Okay.
Like the video. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Like you, bye.
If you enjoyed this video, please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to see future videos. This channel is made possible by the support of the audience. Please consider joining my Patreon to get early access to videos, questions answered in the monthly Q&A, your name on screen, and some exclusive content, all for as little as $1 a month. You can also check out the links in the description to my merch and other ways to directly support the channel. Thanks for watching.